resilience and rebuilding. These are terms that most of us know what they mean, right? Like, I kind of know resilience. But then you start asking people, how would you define resilience? And I find a lot of clauses. Rebuilding, you kind of understand what it means to rebuild. When you think about how do you rebuild in Los Angeles after these fires ripped through here, it's a little more complicated. So these are not simple terms. And so today we're going to be really trying to dig in and explore these with people across different systems expertise, different zones, different geographies about what it means. For us at SidePorch, we're starting to think of resilience, the kind of resilience we need in a world where what I'm looking at, I'm seeing a lot of cruelty. I'm seeing a lot of despair. I'm seeing difficult things globally. For us, I think the resilience we need and the thesis we're building is that it's a resiliency that is founded in kindness and generosity with no expectation of reciprocity. So, throughout the day, we have invited professionals here that have humble and competent approaches to the work that they do in the world. That's what we want to bring up front. So we're going to explore that kindness and generosity throughout the day as well. Second thank you I want to say, and I'll try and get through this quick so we get to the folks that have stuff to share. I want to thank you for trusting us to be here. There are so many different things you could be doing on a Friday, and you chose to be here in community with the extraordinary humans around you. Thank you for being here and being part of this conversation. SidePorch, the group I get to be part of, and I have a lot of colleagues here. We founded SidePorch now a decade ago. Some of you put odds on us not making it past a few years, so I'm surprised at this. For 10 years, we've been helping good people do hard things in service to the planet. That's all we want to do. We have a consulting practice. We build companies and we help to invest in different organizations. So we want to be working with people we love. We're trying to do really hard stuff. Rebuilding in Los Angeles right now is one of those things. So professionally, we're really interested in this. We are actively working on contracts. We're happy to do others and support folks in this room. Personally, this means a lot to us. I lost my home in the firestorm. I live behind the high school in Palisades. My daughter, Maria, junior at Pali, we lost her home. This means something to us. My wife, who's going to be coming, runs climate resilience for CORE, the disaster relief organization. So there's a nice irony is thrown in there. So this means a bunch to us that people like you are working on this challenge. So thanks for what y'all are doing. Our first we're going to start with state of play. So Najla is here. She trusted us enough to come up without knowing us. So she's from Steadfast LA. She's going to tell a little bit about what they're doing, and then we're going to keep moving on. So Najla, thank you for being
here. Thank you all for having me. My name is Najla Kayyem. I'm the Executive Director at Steadfast LA. I'm going to share a little bit about who we are, what we do, and then get into your 3 questions. Steadfast LA was born out of Rick Caruso's vision to unite the private sector to cut through red tape and the bureaucracy within the city and within government to get things done efficiently, fast, and quickly. We have one singular mission, which is to get people back into their homes as safely and quickly as possible and to revive these communities so that they can continue to thrive. So everything that we are doing has to fall under that core mission. We have 5 core principles that we are working under. Number 1, infrastructure. 2, rebuilding. 3, communication. 4, community. And 5, resilience. So any initiative we take on has to fall under one of those pillars. And then we have 10 core initiatives that we're working on. As you can imagine, we can peel the onion back and there are 1,000 good ideas and 1,000 things we could be working on. But we need to be hyper-focused in order to create some action and to get things done and to move the needle. So I'm going to share a couple of those with you. The first thing we were able to accomplish very quickly was to get the city, the state, and the county to commit to undergrounding power lines in the Palisades. And we did that. We did that by asking frank questions and putting people, just yes or no, are you in favor of this, and then publicizing that. The second thing we're focused on right now is accelerating permitting and construction. For those of you guys who are builders or developers in the room, you know that it could take 8 months to a year to get your permitting accomplished. So over the last 30 days, we've been working on an AI software machine learning system that takes all the city building codes and puts them into a model, and then as an architect, you can put in your PDF with your drawings, and very quickly it'll tell you if there are any challenges. You fix it real quick, you turn it in, you get it e-checked, and it's 100% compliant, ready to go in a day. So taking it from 8 We are a 501c3 organization. We're also a 501(c)(4). So we're advocating, but we're also raising money for some of these initiatives. So for the e-check permitting program, we need to deliver that to the city, to the county, to the state in a bow, ready to go, without any objections. So we need to fundraise for that. We're looking for $2 million to bring that to fruition. We got $500,000 of it last night as a commitment. And so as soon as that happens, we can take that as a proof of concept and they can roll with it. And that will change the game for real estate in Los Angeles, and hopefully others will continue to adopt it. Another initiative we worked on is expanding housing choices and initiatives. So bringing and allowing for ADUs, accessory dwelling units, to be put in a home or on the land. People want to rebuild their homes. If they want to rebuild, they should be able to live in their home in an ADU. And there was a law that said basically you couldn't put an ADU on your property unless you had a C of O for your primary residence. Well, guess what? No one has a primary residence, so that law is irrelevant. Having to go through that process, we very quickly cut through that. We're working on the ULA tax currently within our group to modify that or suspend or see what we can do to help. Yesterday, we had a great day. We announced a public-private partnership with JJ Redick, LA Strong Sports Foundation, and the City of Los Angeles to rebuild Palisades Recreational Center. And so that is huge for the community, for those of you who live in Palisades. We're really proud of that. And then, I'd say there's a whole host of other things that we're certainly working on. Those are the things at the forefront. I know you're short on time, but I want to make sure I answer your 3 questions. What's keeping me up at night is definitely not the lack of ideas. Again, there are tons of ideas and tons of things we could be doing. It's really the displacement of communities. People have lost everything, not just their home, but your dental records, where you go to coffee, their entire ecosystem. So the disaster after the disaster, and you're seeing the ripple effect of things happening over time. I'm hopeful because, you see the private sector leaning in. Everybody we're working with, the top talent in Los Angeles and around the world, is donating their time, talent, attention, and their company resources to execute and produce ideas and deliver ideas. So that's great hope. And then, I feel like it's, in closing, we're really redefining how you can play alongside government and push to create some action. So I will be around all morning, would love to connect with anybody. We're also really focused on insurance and capital because those are the biggest macroeconomic problems that no one's really been able to figure out. So we're trying to bring all those parties to the table to help with a solution, and fundraising. So we're trying to raise a significant amount of money for the housing initiatives and for our e-check program and for Pali Rec. So please reach out to me. You can find me here, nkayyem@caruso.com or through LinkedIn. Thank you.
Next, we have a returnee from last year's Climate Week. We've got Sarah and Ellie. We're going to talk about what they're doing in Northwind Climate and a new survey they just did focused on insurance and rebuilding that hopefully adds some context to the next panel coming up.
Hi everyone, and thanks for joining us today. My name is Ellie, and I'm VP of Sales at Northwind Climate, and I'm here with Sarah, our Director of Data. At Northwind Climate, we help organizations to translate their investments on climate into impact. And some insights that Sarah is going to share here are our data SaaS platform available. And essentially, this is intelligence to companies and organizations. And next person, I will share some results on our latest research.
All right, so for those of you that were with me last September, I went over all our solar data and what we can do for our technologies. Today I'm going to talk about insurance. So started, we did it twice. We did one in January, right after the fires in Los Angeles. And second, we just ran the survey in April, so the data is fresh, it's 2 days old. And we quickly wanted to get some early insights on how people think about insurance, think about insurance premiums, the rising cost of entry, and why that matters. So this is a national sample of all adults aged 18 plus, and we found that 53% of homeowners say that their monthly premiums have increased over the last 12 months. The majority of homeowners blame climate-related factors for these rising premiums, and there's very little variation across our audience segments that we do by climate change. So 59% blame severe weather events, and another 45% cite leaving insurances, leaving high-risk areas as a key driver of their costs going up. So to recap here, people largely see that severe weather events are the reason why their costs are going up, but that story does not translate into how people think about the causes of these natural disasters and why they are happening. So we have 5 audience segments, and today I'm only showing 3 of them. So in the first category here, we have the all consumers, so everyone, and then we have the climate viewers. These are those pro-climate consumers, those who believe in climate change, who take individual action when it comes to climate change. And you can see here clearly when we asked about the LA fires, 68% of the climate viewers blame climate change, and another about 20% want the whole fossil fuel companies responsible. Well, look over to the last 2 categories, the climate doubters and the climate deniers. The story is not at all the same. They largely attribute blame to poor forest management and almost none to climate change. And so you can see here that even though the public generally agrees that severe weather events are the reason why their insurance costs are going up, they don't hold the causes the same, right? There's very little similarities across our audiences on why these events actually occur. So why does this matter? Well, we think that even for the climate deniers who are probably not pro-climate mitigation policies, we can move them on climate adaptation policies. We can get them to invest in things like infrastructure in different ways that we can reduce these harms, and maybe that's the positive story here. But it also shows that even though people are experiencing their costs going up, their opinions on why these things are happening are not uniform across our audience segments. And if I pass it back to Ellie to wrap it up.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. So yeah, we would love to keep the conversation going. So come and talk to us, send us an email. And as a small token of gratitude towards the LA climate community here, we wanted to share some newest fresh insights on the industry report, which you can access by scanning the QR code in the top right corner. And thank you.